Hey guys, this is chapter 8 of 4th grade Rats. Our learning goal for today is I can ask myself questions along the way as I am reading to be sure I understand what I have read. So, we're going to be asking ourselves questions as we are reading. And I went ahead and pulled up this anchor chart for you. Okay, let's go ahead and preview it together. It says, good readers think about their reading. Self-monitoring, that basically means what you are thinking about as you are reading the story. That way you are sure you're understanding, you're comprehending everything, and you know what's going on. So these are some helpful questions to ask yourself. What's happening in the story? What's happening with the character? Is your character going through any changes? What do you think is going to happen next? So that's making predictions. What is the problem of the story? And during the chapter or story, you're going to see if the problem's being solved. If it is being solved, ask yourself how. How is it being solved? And then you're also going, it says, what does the word probably mean in the sentence? So you're going to look at your chapter, look for the words that you don't really understand, but you may go back and reread it to maybe catch for clues that help me figure out the meaning. So it says down here, readers self-monitor to keep meaning as they read. It also helps us make deeper connections to the text. So we're going to stop, pause every now and then as we're reading chapter 8 of 4th grade Rats to help us monitor what it is we're reading and to make deeper connections. That means going beyond the text to ask ourselves questions that may not be necessarily written out right there for you. Okay? Okay, also as we're reading the story, if you want to take notes, you're more than welcome to. I think it's beneficial to do it. You take out your journal, label it thoughts, words, actions like we've been doing. But also, I will be asking some of these self-monitoring questions at the end as you're ticket out. So taking notes would help you out to figure out the ticket out at the end. Then by all means, go ahead and take your notes if you think it's going to help you out. Chapter 8, Training Camp. We headed for my house. Training camp. Joey was my coach. Joey was my coach. First, he said, that crybaby stuff, gotta go. How? I said. You still have your E.T., don't you? Sure. My parents had given me the videotape movie for my birthday. I'll bet you start bawling every time E.T. dies, don't you? Well, follow me. We stuck my E.T. cassette in our VCR and ran it fast forward to where E.T. dies, or everybody thinks he dies. As usual, the waterworks came on. My eyes, my cheeks were like Niagara Falls. Joey punched rewind, stop, play. E.T. died again. I cried again. Okay, so let's look over our anchor chart. What's happening in the story? What's happening with the character? Is the character changing yet? Okay, go ahead and reflect that over with your learning coach, and we will continue with the story. Okay, if you were talking to your learning coach, hopefully you said Joey is playing the E.T. Videotape, which I don't know if you know about videotapes, but they're like DVDs, or it's a way that you can watch a movie. But Joey's showing him this video of the E.T. movie, and what's happening with the character? Well, Suds is getting upset and he's crying. Okay, so what do you think is going to happen next? That's also one of our questions. So what's the whole point? Why is Joey showing this video to Suds? I think, I'm going to make a prediction, I think he's showing it to Suds just to make a point that you're not a fourth grade rat. You're crying. You have to learn not to cry. That's what I predict. So it went, time after time, until, on the 22nd try, Joey ran his fingertips across my cheek and nodded. Dry. He turned on the right and got in my face like a doctor. Your eyes are a little watery, but nothing's falling out of them. He held out his hand. You're on your way, rat. I gave him 5. Next was spiders. Joey found one, trapped it in a paper cup, and brought it to me. I was sweating and shaking. Hold out your hand, he said. I can't, I told him. You want Judy Billings to like you or not? Well, what if it's a black widow? I shuddered. It's not. Or a tarantula? Okay, so what's happening in the story now? What's happening with the character? Has there been a change in the character yet? Let's keep reading. It's a little white house spider. Hold out your hand. I can't. It won't move. Joey made it move. He grabbed my hand and dumped the spider onto it. He was right. It was a little white house spider. But to me, it looked like a tarantula. I screamed and flipped it away. When we got to the 9th little white house spider, I was still flipping, but I was doing it silently. Joey sighed. Well, at least we got rid of that scream. He clapped his hands. Okay, up to the roof. No, I said. Move, he said. I went upstairs like I was walking to the gallows, even more than spiders. I'm scared of high places. Okay, so what is the big problem so far in this story? Or in this chapter, I mean. What is the big problem? Okay, was the problem solved? Let's keep reading. Joey steered me to my bedroom window. He made me open it. Out, he said. No, I said. Outside my window is the roof of our front porch. No way, I said. I sat on my bed. I finally agreed to do it under 2 conditions. 1, I take off my shoes and socks to get a better grip on the roof. 2, we tie me to a rope. We tied one end of the rope to the bed. The other end, good and tight, went around my chest, under my arms. I climbed out. I sat on my windowsill. Out, he said, to the edge. I lowered myself from the sill. I sat on the roof. Sill is basically like the bottom part of a window. I dug my finger and toes and rear end into the pebbly shingles. I inched forward. My heart felt like an exploding football in my chest. Okay, so what's happening in this part of the story right now? Okay, what do you think is going to happen next? We know that Suds is out on the roof and he is tied, but what do you think? Do you think he's going to be, is he going to be on this roof safe? Do you think he's going to be able to overcome his fear of heights? Let's keep reading. I was halfway to the edge when the sidewalk below started to get wavy. Then the bushes got fuzzy. Then everything was turning around like the inside of a clothes dryer. I want you to picture that again. I'm going to read that again. Then everything was turning around like the inside of a clothes dryer. Next thing I knew, I was hanging off the edge of the porch roof, swinging in the air above the front steps. Just then, Zipper Nose came out. The look on her face said, I'm imagining I see my brother hanging from the roof. I'm having a hallucination. Call somebody, I told her. Get me down from here. She half turned. ready to obey me for the first time in her life. Then she spotted my feet, my bare feet. This time, the look on her face said, I may never get the chance again as long as I live. I may never get this chance again as long as I live. She rushed me. She grabbed my legs in a bear hug and started tickling the bottoms of my feet. Well, the Mortons are a ticklish family. Extremely. By the time my mother finally came out and chased Zipper Nose off and got me down, I was about dead from laughing. For my next test, Joey led me to the little kids' playground at the park. What are we doing here? I asked him. You'll see, he said. We waited, watching the little kids. After a while, Joey said, You hungry? A little, I said. For a Twinkie? Okay, so let's go ahead and ask ourselves a question. Okay, what I want you to do now, in your reading journal, go ahead and open to a fresh new page. Label it at the top, Chapter 4, 4th grade rats. I'm sorry, not 4. Chapter 8, 4th grade rats. And I want you to go ahead and jot down, what is the problem? We're going to use this question for right now. What is the problem? Now, as I read, I want you to figure out what the problem is on the next page. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and keep reading. Yeah, spongy cake, creamy inside. I love them. Go for it, said Joey. He pointed to a little kid. He was eating a Twinkie with one hand. The other hand held another Twinkie. He don't need two, Joey whispered. I can't, I said. Take care of number 1. I can't. Judy Billings. Judy Billings. The kid was passing us. I reached out. I snatched the uneaten Twinkie. The kid howled, bloody murder. I shoved the Twinkie back in his hand and took off. Last test. Last chance. We hung around my room, waiting for my mother to ask me to do something. When she does, Joey said, you know what to say. Sure enough, pretty soon my mom showed up. She said, Suds, will you excuse yourself from Joey long enough to empty your waste basket, please? Silence. Joey waiting. My mother waiting. Judy Billings waiting. The world waiting. I couldn't stand it. Maybe if she hadn't smiled. Maybe if she hadn't said please. I said, okay, Mom. As soon as my mother left the room, Joey gave me a disgusted grunt. He pointed to my one-eyed teddy bear. I guess you're not going to throw that baby thing away either, are you? I looked at the bear, at him in shock. Nah, I didn't think so, he sneered. Better forget it. Better forget it, Morton. You'll never hack it as a rat. He got up and left. I emptied my basket. I figured he was right. I figured I was dumping my chances with Judy Billings out with my trash. But I didn't figure out what happened Monday at school. Okay, that is the end of chapter 8. Now, what did you find out the problem was? What did you write down in your notes? Also, in your journal, I want you underneath your answer to the problem. Answer, was the problem solved? If so, how? If the problem wasn't solved, I want you to explain. I want you to explain why it wasn't solved. Okay, so that is going to be your ticket out, since our learning goal was asking questions along the way as I am reading to be sure I understand what I have read. So I want you to Sorry. Okay, so you're going to share your stop and jots that we did, and that stop and jot was asking what the problem is and asking, was the problem solved? So make sure you turn in your ticket out. That is our read aloud for chapter 8's lesson, and we will continue with chapter 9 tomorrow.